Yay. That's the problem with live.
We'll talk about live or doing
TC
live.
Backer family. Welcome to episode 112 of Behind the Toolbelt with TC Backer Construction. I'm Chris Baker.
And I'm Ty Backer.
And we have a very special guest today, Mr. TikTok, Mr. World's Greatest Roofer, TJ McCormack. How you doing, bub?
Man, how's it going, guys? It's great to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming on our show, man. It's we got about an hour before the show here to get well acquainted, and I really appreciated that. You know, we should actually try to do that more often, but like an hour before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Minus the problems that we had. So Facebook, TC Backer family, anyone watching, we had an issue with our studio desktop. I think we must have got a virus or something like that because we could not get this thing to work. We couldn't get it to connect to our streaming platform. We thought it was the internet. We thought it was Comcast, but it turned out that it was actually just the tower. So we appreciate everyone popping on here. I already see a bunch of guys on here. So let's just jump right into this. TJ, thank you for your patience. We appreciate you. You and Ty got to chop it up for about an hour beforehand there.
Yeah.
I heard Ty asking you all kinds of interesting questions, and I wish I could have heard some of your answers.
Well, you will now. Hopefully.
You will now.
Yeah.
No doubt. So everything in life is a psychology experiment now, and whether or not you mesh well with others is the key to being authentic, right?
Right.
What might not be authentic to me might be authentic to you, and I'm glad that we did get to have that conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. Me too. And Glenn just tuned in here. Glenn was with me actually down in Texas when we got to listen to you speak down
Oh
there.
yeah.
Yeah, and it was great. I don't know if you saw us in the crowd or not, which I'm sure you didn't, but I'm that important.
I
was
did.
like,
I
know
actually
TJ.
did see you guys.
Did you? Oh, did you? Cool.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. That's one of the good things that I try to do is find it to see everybody in my audience, and sometimes I don't get all of them, but I definitely notice you guys there. I know who you guys are. A lot of times I apologize to other people. I don't speak to you, but I do see a lot of great people out there doing good things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's funny you say that because you are doing so many great things for our industry. And I was super excited when you reached out to me. And, it was funny because we passed each other a couple times at the Storm Restoration Conference there. And I so badly wanted to say something to you, but I knew you were busy and I was there kind of on leisure. But you played a big integral part of that conference and you shared a lot of good stuff. And that's why I'm excited about having you on the show because you have done so much for the industry. You were involved on so many different levels between being a salesperson, a social media influencer, and involved with so much more stuff. So give us a little bit of the background that we discussed, so Chris and our viewers can hear, a little bit about who TJ McCormack is.
Awesome. Yes. So I came into the industry in 2015 into the roofing industry or construction industry. Um, through the channels of LC Nussbeck. A lot of people know who LC is on the roofing side. LC was the original founder of Aspen Contracting, and then he set out his goals to open up a company called Mad Sky Managed Repair Program. I worked at Mad Sky with a bunch of great people in the industry at the time. Reggie Brock from Beacon and I worked together recruiting companies and training roofers how to do proper damage inspections, working together with insurance carriers. And I know a lot of people don't like the MRP model. I don't particularly like it anymore, but that's where I came up. And we were talking, I should have gone to be a jeweler, but I ended up in the roofing industry and I've done really well at roofing. I am now director of social media and marketing for Restore Masters. Restore Masters is a commercial, typically commercial only brand, and I'm doing a lot of recruiting. We're building, training and sales platforms for our many hundreds of salespeople.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so that's crazy. So the company you work for full time, the Restore Masters, is that like a national company or is that like a franchise or something like that? Because I know you guys are a really large size roofing company.
Yeah.
So how does that work? Was it just some dude decided to go out on his own one day and just blew up, or give us a little bit of background on that?
And then, our company's been around since 2006. The main company owners are Matt Irvin and Justin Reichel, very big people in the commercial sales industry, $1 million sales over a year, multi-million dollars in sales a year. Prior to deciding to open up their own roofing company together, Restore Masters brand. It is one brand. It's not a company that is multiple companies within. We all work under one umbrella. We have leaders in 30 different cities. We have buildings in 30 different cities, and we're growing every week. We're trying to put a building in every city that has an elite sales force behind it to make that building profitable.
Wow.
We've learned the art of the sale, and then we're very good at building the product as well.
That's crazy. So, we opened up another location here recently, and I mean, for the first one for us, I mean, a lot of work went into that, between making sure our process or training was easily duplicated. I can't even imagine having 30 different locations. So, like, did you follow somebody's model, or was this something that you guys just winged, like, decided, like, hey, we're just going to open up 30 of them and went for it? So how did that come
No,
all
so
about?
in our model, sales reps have to earn everything that they get, and all of the leaders that are at Restore Masters that are running a branch or an office had to earn that spot, and it was a sales model that was built by a very great salesman or sales leader, Nick Ivino, and we bring in not just people from the roofing industry, but from all industries. And what is great about our model is that we're not like a residential roofing company that just goes and canvases. We go in there, we get the deal signed, we do right by the client by getting the public adjuster or the attorney involved. And then just like what you're talking about, we were talking earlier about the solar program. Solar and commercial is very big right now out there because of all the tax credits and then also the green roof initiatives in the United States. So adding everything to your tool belt, as you guys say,
Mm-hmm.
we use as many tools out there to get that business owner's attention.
That's probably pretty hard to manage too, having so many different locations in so many different states.
Yeah,
Because as you know, the solar game is kind of different depending on where your location is
right.
and the customer
It
that you're
is. It
selling
is
to.
very, very. Florida is hot right now, but Colorado used to be really hot, and Utah as well. But we're finding that learning all the laws in all those jurisdictions is it's great for our sales reps to be able to do the add-on or the upgrade, or taking the solar sale and then getting the roof financed.
It's got to be a hell of a team that you got, man.
Yeah,
I
for
know
real.
how
Yeah, man.
stressful it is just running, our two locations.
Mm-hmm.
And all the people and the teamwork that it takes
Yeah.
to get that done on a daily basis.
Yeah,
To do that, that's crazy,
recruiting
man.
is has been great, but like you say, you can have salespeople, you can have managers, but sometimes the hard part is finding leaders. That's where the struggle always will be is maintaining a leader. Ty, just like you and I were talking before the show, a roofing company or a successful roofing person typically doesn't last more than 5 years in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
So maintaining that roofing salesperson for longevity is hard.
It is, and it's hard to retain them. I mean, let alone trying to find somebody that's good, but then to retain them, by the way, we talked about how we treat people, basically how we want to be treated, and that's so hard to find, a leader or a boss or an owner
Right.
that really cares for their people. And I think that's what has helped us, especially over the past 24 months. And we've been able to attract good people because
Sure.
I honestly feel like water seeks its own level. So
Hmm.
if you're good to your people and the culture's awesome, then you end up hiring someone, then their family wants to come work for you, or they just see that you're doing great things in the community, which we do. We do a lot of things. We're pretty tight with our community, And I think I know a lot of people see that, and it attracts just good people that want to be a part of something that's freaking awesome.
That's a great point, Ty. That's a great point.
Yeah.
We were at a show this past weekend, and a gentleman came up to me that has been following us for a little while. Actually, sat in on one of our very first episodes in in the first studio that we were with, and kind of seen where we got started. And I haven't really spoken to him except for a couple times, just hey, how you doing through Messenger and stuff. But he was actually a vendor at the show that we were at, and he came up and he's like, hey man, like I've been watching you guys from afar. You guys have grown so much and they're so much different and, yada, yada. And, he's trying to get me to give him like the one thing that changed everything. And it's like, you can't really put one thing, but if you have to put it on one thing, it's the leadership. It's the culture. You know what I mean? It's the consistency, because I think that we'll all agree. Leadership is a muscle that you have to train. You know what I mean? It's not something that it's just like you're going to wake up one day and it's, oh, I'm a leader, and you're going to be a leader for the rest of your life. That's something, that's a lifestyle. That's a lifestyle that you have to live. It takes action every day, and a lot of times it's not the easy way. You know what I mean?
No.
It's having good leadership qualities requires you to do the right thing when people aren't watching. You know what I mean?
Right.
And what do we call that, Ty? Integrity. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. What do you pick the piece of trash up when nobody's watching? You know what I mean? It's the little things that you do behind closed doors, that muscle that you train every day. I spoke with another gentleman, another business owner down there, and he was actually we did like a little 30-minute segment at the show, and it's like you can compare it to weightlifting. The first 10 reps that you put up is easy, right?
Right.
The real growth happens in those last ones that you don't think you can get the bar back up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's where the growth happens. So, I think we can all agree that if I have to put it on one thing that makes your company grow, it's leadership and the culture behind that leadership.
Yeah.
And that kind of falls hand in hand there. You know what I mean? Because if
Absolutely.
you have good leadership, you usually have good culture.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you know what Ty, you and I were talking before, the word with that big letter G, greed. If you have that in your heart, you can't be a great leader either, because that's just somebody that's selfish.
Yeah. No, and it's funny you say that, because I had a conversation with somebody yesterday that, I think over the years of, managing and trying to be the self-proclaimed leader that I have proclaimed myself as, that there has been situations where I should have probably have been a little more greedier, but unfortunately or fortunately, I don't have a greedy bone in my body. Like everybody, like even from the very beginning days, I remember going broke for so many weeks, week after week after week after week, just making sure that the help got paid. Making sure that the distributor got paid, so then, the workers had someplace to go tomorrow because materials were being delivered. And if I would ever have to do it over again, I wouldn't change a thing about that. And the other thing is I won't ever forget where I come from.
Never forget where you came from.
Yep, we're a first generation roofing company now. My dad and his uncles and my grandfathers and them, they're all great, excellent carpenters, but none of them were roofers. And like we were talking about earlier, the roofing space had found me. It's like I really had nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted something better for myself. And I just went with it. I ran with it. I was good with my hands. I was good doing siding, windows, roofing. And I always knew that I wanted something big. And here we are today. And fortunately, I've been able to surround myself around great people. Like the right people that are smarter than me in certain areas of my career or aspects of my life, and especially at work. And without them, I'm nothing. Without them, this would be nothing. Like we talked earlier too about, successes and victories. It's their victories. It's their successes. And if you can remove yourself from it and provide for other people, it's like everything that everybody does, and not to take the show hostage, but everybody's job within the organization is so important, because that individual, we're all working in unison, okay? So like what Chris does on a daily basis provides somebody's paycheck for them. That person that he provides that paycheck for provides another paycheck for somebody else. It's like we all work in unison, and it's so important. It's like we're here working for each other, and at the end of the week, that money that you receive, that's just bonus. That's
Right.
just the bonus. That's the bonus that you receive by helping your coworkers out and not having the attitude of that's not my job, that's not my department. It's like there is little teams within the team, but we're all working in unison.
Yes.
When I first started hiring, so I started working for Restore Masters back in August, and I quickly gained 100 salespeople that were working directly for me, and I was getting leads, and instead of myself taking that lead like I normally would to make that sale, I was giving it away, and being humble in this business and being able to give away that lead, knowing you're going to lose that commission. Is hard, but at the end of the day, I wanted my people to be successful and learn.
Absolutely, man. You nailed it. Humble, humility.
Right.
Being able to be humble and remain humble. That's the hardest part. And it's like, but you get so much more satisfaction out of it. You felt better about it,
Right.
by watching them grow and succeed.
Right, right. Not everything is given to you in life, and neither are leads, right? So you still have to earn them.
Yes, you do.
But you mind if I want to talk about nubs a little bit,
Yeah,
if you don't
man.
mind?
Yes.
Do it.
Yeah,
Anything you want to
yeah,
talk about. You're the star
yeah.
of the
Let's
show,
talk.
homie.
Just talking about sales. The way that we make sales has changed over the past 2 years. COVID killed a lot. And no matter if you're in California and you couldn't leave your house, or New York City, Colorado, we were in lockdown a lot of times, and I was scared to drive because I thought that I was going to get in trouble. Becoming world's greatest roofer, which if everybody knows on TikTok or Instagram, you have to come up with a catchy name. So I came up with the world's greatest roofer. And like I was telling Ty, I am not the world's greatest roofer. My mission is to go out and find the world's greatest roofer, somebody doing something great for their community or for their company, like the backer. But what I'm getting at is, in order to create business for yourself, you had to be able to be on screen or be on camera. And what Nubs is going to be doing is we're going to actually be going out across the country to different roofing companies. And we're going to teach people actually how to utilize social media to their advantage, instead of constantly having to pay. What I heard today, Dmitry Lipensky from Roofing Insights, he said that he spends $8,000 a week in marketing budget. Now, I just can't imagine spending $32,000 a month trying to get leads. I have not paid one dime this past year for a lead. Just by utilizing social media, we want to teach people, instead of constantly charging them, why not go out and show you how I do it?
Well, sign me up. Have you tried it on anybody yet? Let us be the guinea pig, please.
You know what? As a matter of fact, we've just started talking about it. I just became the chief operating officer within about 3 weeks ago. We had talks with Jeff Richfield. We've had talks with Daniel Savage from Savage Grind. All of those guys, we're going to be going out. Jen Silver, we're going to be working together with a bunch of great people.
Yeah, man.
But no, we definitely want to go out there. We're just tired of you guys, the roofing companies, losing $100,000 a year in marketing, when you could be putting that $100,000 towards your associates.
Yeah, I don't usually talk numbers.
Yeah.
I'm still contemplating if I want to share online.
No, that's okay. It's okay.
You want me to tell you?
Do it.
But you guys are retail too, which is a lot harder.
Yes, well, that's the difference between doing insurance work or
Right.
retail. We are solely, not that we don't get that occasional windstorm or very seldom hail comes through here, and we do some insurance work, but not enough like somebody like David Taggart in Texas. You know what I mean? We just don't have that type of weather here.
Right.
So we do a shit ton of marketing, billboards,
Right.
yard signs, digital ads, mail, Everything other than radio and TV, we do everything. We do what's called the fishnet approach.
You know, David Carroll at Dope Marketing, he's the best one at mailers, man. Have you ever talked to David Carroll? That guy he's one great person in this industry.
Yeah, he really is. I love what he does, but unfortunately or fortunately,
Yeah.
we use a company called Lead Scout.
Oh, I know. Hey, you know what? Everybody uses who they like the best, right? So it's all good.
Yeah,
So
we've had a real long relationship with those guys. I think it even goes back further than when
right,
David started to get a lot of traction with his
sure.
um, equipment that he uses and stuff like that. But unfortunately, we use, like I said, Lead Scout.
Yep.
But David is killing it out there, dude. I mean, his content alone on Facebook and every other social media platform. I mean, he's done good and came up real quick. So
Yes,
he's
he
done a
has.
lot of good stuff.
Yeah,
No
social
doubt.
media is
So
king these days, man.
social media is king. We were talking about going live or having a problem going live with our devices earlier, right?
Right.
When I started World's Greatest Roofer, the very first time I went viral, I realized that the reason that I went viral is because I was doing a live broadcast every day out to my audience. And from that one broadcast, it came to now where at some points I'm doing 4 live broadcasts a day, where I'll be doing one at 9 o'clock in the morning Mountain Time, which is 11 your time. I do another one at 2 o'clock my time, another one at 8 o'clock at night here in Colorado, so 10 o'clock on the East Coast. And then at certain points of my growth, I was doing one at 2 in the morning for people in Asia, South Africa, Australia, and other parts of the world that of people that were watching me live. And it's very hard. Social media is not an easy game, but once you get it down and you have a grasp at it, it can produce lots and lots of leads or money recruits. Other businesses working together with you. It's really great.
It is great, and we've developed a culture. We constantly talk about culture. I can't help it, but it's always on the forefront of my mind. Not just within our regime, but within our community. So you're talking about Facebook. So if anyone's ever looking for like a recommendation, we have like this following of people. It's like TC Backer has become like a lifestyle.
Sure.
Through our marketing and things and sponsorships that we hold, and Zach just reminded me, we sponsor dirt bikes, race cars, go karts, and all kinds of
Softball
things.
teams.
Softball teams.
Softball too? Nice. I love that, man. I
All
played
kinds of
softball
stuff,
too, but I never thought about getting a roofing company to be on my back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we that's another way that we kind of give back to the community as well.
Yeah.
So these people that follow us either on social media or whatever it is that we're doing, or participate in the community events that we host, they're constantly recommending us within all of these local communities through Facebook that we have. And it's just amazing, because there was a gentleman today that says he manages like 1,900 properties up in Harrisburg, and he needs a roofer and a guy, someone that does gutters and windows and must have all the proper insurances. Dude, out of like 28 recommendations, 15 of them was the community stating TC Backer's your go-to. TC Backer, TC Backer, TC
Nice.
Backer. It was just
Yeah.
nonstop.
And these
It was
aren't even
crazy.
employees.
Yeah, these are just people in the community that know us and watch
Uh,
us.
Yeah.
Are you guys on the bus yet? Or do you guys? I don't even know if you have a bus there, a bus service. Down in Florida, Harvey Cohen, Cohen Law, he's on all of the buses and all the taxis. And it's the same thing. Whenever somebody's like, "Who's the best lawyer in Florida?" It's Harvey Cohen. Yeah.
That's
right.
No, the branding is the model for sure. And something that I teach, and something I was teaching at SRC when you guys met me, was how to brand, and as a salesman, how to brand myself and co-brand with TC Backer or with Restore Masters or whoever I'm working for, because being a salesperson in this world is hard if people don't know that you're a roofer or you're a car man or you're doing another type of trade. If they know who you are, then they're going to put you in the phone as TJ Roofer or Ty Roofer.
Yes.
And that roofing company should support their associates or their salespeople in that way, that they also back them on their social media.
Exactly.
That I want to add to that real quick, TJ. And
Yeah.
I remember you on the panel up in when at RoofCon, okay? And a question was asked there, and I'd like your response to this question. So I'm gonna
Sure.
all the people that weren't at RoofCon, I'm gonna ask you this same question, and I want to hear your input on this. So,
Okay.
if you have a sales team that works for you, and this doesn't have to be just a roofing industry or an exterior construction or anything like that, anything that you're selling in, okay? Do you, as a company, do you think it is also important for a salesperson to have a personal brand?
Yes, I do. So, what I've said, I think what I said on that stage that day, I've said it a couple of different ways, is a business owner is the only one that knows how to brand his own business. But a salesperson is the only person that knows how to brand themselves. If they're successful at making sales, then they're going to be successful at making sales for you. But a lot of times I wear earrings. I have tattoos, right? Some owners might not think that I'm what they want their brand to represent, but it can be a hippie, it can be a short person, right? Whatever. If they can sell and they're good at putting on your shirt every day, and going by your standards, then let them brand themselves and co-brand with your company.
I love it.
Good answer.
Yeah.
That's a
Yes,
great
sir.
answer. It really is. So it's funny that you guys are talking about that, because one thing that I was speaking with John today. John's our marketing
Sure.
and sales director. He actually created our website a few years ago, and we brought him in full time. And we were talking about helping with that process of running ads of like a headshot of each salesperson. Like, if you want to know more about solar, you know, call and ask for Bucky, because we have a sales guy named Bucky, or Ben.
Sure.
And for that full week or a month, like nonstop, just blast that, because usually we have about 110 ads running on Facebook at any given time.
Yeah.
So if we took 50 of them and started like marketing our salespeople, so that way if we started canvassing the existing neighborhoods that we're already doing working, so now they're no longer strangers.
Yeah.
Between the digital marketing and the mailers and some other things that we have working for us, we just kind of thought that would be a cool idea if the company could do that for them. Because
Right.
the issue that we're afraid of is, I agree to a certain extent. If the guy is marketing, himself or branding himself, that's cool, because I would love to put like their faces on billboards and things like that. But where it kind of gets a little sketchy, and we just ran into a situation where sometimes if they're like putting their personal cell phone numbers down, like we got a bad review over the weekend where it was like I called and left a message. Well, everyone's like, well, it wasn't me. And the sad reality of it is somebody knew it was probably them, but they wouldn't admit it. So it's like, I don't mind if they're trying to market or brand themselves, but they must put like one of the many phone numbers that we use. Sure. That way it funnels through the office. So we have a little more control over it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So one of the things that I've been suggesting to companies is the QR code. If you watch the Super Bowl this weekend, the number one commercial that was out there
code,
was the
man.
QR code for Bitcoin or for Coinbase.
It got me.
Yeah. I lifted my phone up right away to find out what.
I was like, free shit. Something.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's going to be a lottery,
right?
But when a person like a realtor puts their face on a card, right? But now people are wondering, and they see these QR codes everywhere. And just like in that commercial, we lifted our phone, put a QR code on your company's shirts or on their jackets, and then also put, if they sell, make it a thing where if they sell 500,000 in roofs, that they get that QR code attached to their vehicle. So when they're driving down the road, they get that lead, and then their face pops up whenever they scan that QR code.
Right, and we even were talking about going one step further by giving each individual salesperson their own yard signs with their own phone number on it. So then when that call comes through the office, we'll know right away that that was one of Bucky's yard signs or that was one of Ben's yard signs, to try to help. Because I think everybody wants to brand and market themselves, but they're worried that somebody else is going to get their lead. if
Yeah.
if we don't have some kind of control over, or not control, that's a horrible word to say, but some kind of system in place that where we can track all of these matrix.
Yeah. The going into the CRM or the lead generation into the, landing pages, things like that, that really works. But getting them that leader, also figuring out where it comes from, it's always going to be hard, especially if it's calling one main number, right? That's why I came up with the way that what you're talking about by putting a picture on a yard sign like a realtor, right? It really does work. I tell you who does that best. There's a guy from Crest Exteriors. His name is Chandler Milliken. Chandler is a great when he's doing door-to-door roofing sales. He puts that sign in those yards, and people call him. They like what he looks like. You know what I mean? He's a good-looking guy, and people will call something that they like, or somebody that they think that they trust. And what I do differently is being on video. People get to read who I am as a person, just like if you were sitting in front of me at dinner, or if I'm knocking on your door, and now I have to make an impression. So it makes it easy for people. Somebody said, I see, what's the number one tip you give to a salesman to improve his craft? Is put yourself on your video camera. You don't have to do crazy things on camera, but put yourself out there. Give people tips about what you do every day. How did you get on that roof? What did you do when you got on that roof? Is there something that makes you stand out, or when you were talking with that client, that made them trust you in order to even possibly earn their business?
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, that is a good point, man.
Yeah, I like
that's
that.
a good point.
Yeah,
Shorts, reels, TikToks, little Facebook videos. Your marketer, whoever's doing your marketing, is telling you, I'm sure of it, stop giving me pictures and give me videos. People want to see videos. It makes more sense when you're paying money for an advertisement, whether it be Insta, YouTube, wherever you're putting an advertisement, hopefully not Facebook. It's worth your money to do a video versus doing a picture.
I'm glad that you just brought up TikTok, man. I wanted to ask you some questions about TikTok because
Let's go, man.
I'm not a TikToker, okay? And that's not by like any kind of pro Facebook or anything like that. I just don't understand it. For the viewers out there, this guy's got over 200,000 subscribers on TikTok. He's on TikTok every day. I mean, he's constantly posting stuff. And I believe, actually, I know. I think that you were one of the only people in the room at RoofCon when the question was asked, "Is Facebook dead?" And you were, I don't want to, I'm sorry, Facebook, because we're Facebook streaming right now. But TJ was like, "Yeah, it's TikTok all day. TikTok all day." Yeah. Why are you so confident with that?
So maybe right after I said something about that the other day at the SRC summit, Meta crashed, right? Meta lost a lot of its percent in stock because lawmakers are going after big business. And what's the biggest business out there right now? Amazon, Facebook, and TikTok. TikTok's number 2 in the world now in terms of social media. And they want to regulate those types of things. And when they start talking about regulations, things break down. People don't want to use you anymore. You're a government website. You're not anything fun anymore. But moreover, what we're talking about being on video, look at it. TikTok, the best view counts in the world right now are 7 to 15 seconds long. You can get a viral video in the next hour by just putting something out there that's interesting to other people. Now, what might not be interesting to me is interesting to you, like we talked about, but the psychology of the algorithm is something that I had to study. I had to figure out what the algorithm liked about me, what I did well, and how to execute it every time that I put a video out. Now, I want to tell you guys this. Social media is a full-time job, all day, every day, and if you want to be an influencer, it's not something that's easy. Like, I want to be a roofer, but I also want to be a social media star, and I find it hard to mix those two and also be a parent.
Right. No, I get it. Because believe me, I want to spend all day long on social media somehow,
Right.
some way, shape, or form. But unfortunately,
Yeah.
it's a distraction. Unfortunately for
Yeah.
me sometimes, and it pulls me away. And next
You
thing
know,
you know, okay.
if you put your face on a live broadcast on Facebook, also do it on YouTube. If you do it on Instagram, if you do it on TikTok every day, right? You're going to get clients. On TikTok, the algorithm for me, having 220,000 followers on TikTok, the algorithm pushes to the general location around me while I'm live, not to only the people that are following me, but to other people as well. So if I'm in the grocery store a lot, right? I go to the grocery store once a day. I got 2 8-year-olds. So I'm in the grocery store, and almost every single time I'm at the grocery store, I get out of the truck, and I'm like, I wonder who's going to walk up to me and say hi, TJ, because the people in this general location, and people, there are a lot of people out there that are like, oh my gosh, TikTok is the worst. It's a bunch of young girls dancing around. But what I saw a year ago was there was a wide open space of no roofing salespeople selling roofs. And I wanted to be on the forefront because I saw that Facebook was failing. Facebook ads are the worst. I hate paying Facebook ads. I'll say it all day long. But sometimes you have to do a sponsored ad. But in the roofing community that we're in a market like Denver or a market like Dallas, it's oversaturated. So the sponsored ads show up all day for 7 roofing companies. And it's not, I pass by it. I don't even want to see other people's roofing companies sometimes, but in a market where I thrive, is TikTok, again, that personal branding. People like me for me. They buy from me. And it helps that I'm wearing a great name on my chest as well to back me up. Now, if I didn't have a great name to back me up, they'd ask about my credentials. That's that's why it's easy for me. And other people should do it as well. You don't have to be crazy. I know people, they get this connotation of TikTok is a bunch of people dancing around doing crazy things, but really, do a 7-second video with you. Hey, a TC backer here, getting on this roof that costs $17,000. Let me show you why. And then people want to see what you're doing. And it's like the Bob Vila home again back in the 80s. Whenever Bob Vila went into that home, come along inside with me, and he caught those attention for the next 3 minutes, showing you sawing a plane, right? And you're like, what in the world? Why am I stuck here for the next hour watching him frame a room? So
Seriously, though.
I mean, it's true, dude. Half the videos that I get lost in, because you know how it is, man. Everyone, you start watching a video, and then the next one pops up in the reels,
Right.
and before you know it, you're 17 videos deep for an hour and 30 minutes, and it's like, how did I even get here? And you swipe backwards, and it's like, oh yeah, I started watching that stupid video.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And you got an hour and 30 minutes gone.
Yeah.
I don't like other people's videos all the time. Right now, people that I'll support or I want to show support, like I want you to know that I actually saw your video. I'll give it a like. But most of the time, I don't like videos because the algorithm will only show me those type of videos. And I don't want to watch those. I have a 10,000 foot view. I don't want to just see what's right in front of me. I want to see what other people are doing, and if it doesn't interest me, I can swipe. So but no, that's just a tip for other people out there. If you don't want to see the same things over and over again, stop liking that content, and if you do, then like it, follow it, do what you do.
That's a great point.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah, I've heard that before, but I'm guilty of it because I want people to know that I like the videos.
Yeah,
I feel like today. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, please. I apologize.
I feel like today's world is so materialistic with the like-driven things. It's like, oh, he's not really my friend. He doesn't like my stuff. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't want to call it laziness, but I scroll through Facebook. I hardly ever like stuff. I like stuff that has to do with the company I work for.
Yeah.
And that's really about it. I mean, unless I see a picture of my kids up there, or every once in a while, like a goat in pajamas or something cool like that. Like I'll throw a like on there, but I don't think, like, if I'm looking at a video, I think in my head like, oh, that's cool. Like I don't even think to really hit that like button a lot of times. But some of the younger generations are, it's so like driven. It's like, oh my God, you didn't like my video.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm guilty of like looking to see how many likes I received on a video. It's almost addictive. And if you don't get a bunch, it's kind of almost depressing. And it's like, damn, I got to come up with something better because I only got 19 likes on that video.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting caught up in the analytics is something that analytical people do, business-driven people that are trying to count their dollars and cents and making sure they do what they do well, and getting a return on investment. Return on investment is the number one thing. If I spend this amount of money, when am I going to see this money back? And people are like driven. I will admit I have almost 2.8 million likes. And that didn't come easy, it came with blood, sweat, and tears. But it's a status thing for me now. I'm sponsored by 37 different brands, either a partner affiliate or a sponsorship opportunity. And to brand myself, I have to be bigger. And if that means that I need to get more likes, I have to get more likes. I can't say I stop getting likes.
Right.
Because it's also fun to get likes. It really is.
Yeah.
It means people like your content.
Right. It's satisfying. It definitely is. I'm sitting over here saying that I don't like people's things, but I definitely am guilty of, I'd like to get likes on my things. I mean, I think everyone that posts stuff on social media, does it for some form of attention, whether it's business driven or personal gain driven. I mean, you're doing it for a specific reason. You're not just throwing it up there because you feel like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That really isn't that the whole point of
absolutely
either getting a like or waiting for comments.
Right.
Because some people throw some stuff out there that you can tell are just waiting for a response. And the best one is please pray for me. Don't ask any questions. And if like everybody's like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
What's wrong? It's like, dude, why would you put something like that on Facebook?
Right.
Yes.
It means that they just broke up with their boyfriend.
Yeah. Yes.
Now I gotta find a new man.
Yeah.
No.
Right?
But
great,
no, it's really fun to be on the social. But what I'd like to offer to people out there, you got a lot of people that watch that I do. Like I'll just be walking along in the grocery store, and all of a sudden I'll see something that caught my eye that I think that will look great on video. But then other times there are people out there that just don't want anything to do with creating content, and that's where we come in and we help.
Right on.
So
yeah. I think we're getting better at it. It's definitely something you have to get used to. It's not easy being in front of the camera. At least for me, it wasn't, and sometimes still isn't. I'm my own worst critic. Like, I almost refuse to watch my videos because I can't stand the sound of my voice.
Right. I didn't mean that. Like, I didn't mean right as nobody could like your voice.
Right. Yeah, I know. No, I heard you. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's it's difficult. A lot of people don't like that, but I look at it as one of those things. Like, if we want to succeed in life, we have to learn how to step out of our comfort zone.
Yes.
And I've really used social media for that for me. Is a form of me stepping out of my comfort zone. I did a 60-day content challenge with Patrick Carr, and it really helped me. Like, it really did. Like, every morning he'd come up with like a topic, and the hardest part was I couldn't go over 2 minutes.
Yeah, and it had to be pre-recorded too.
Yes, and it had to be.
Because that's
were you
tough,
part of
man.
you were part of the program as well with roofing.com. Was that the Revolt challenge as well?
Oh yeah, Fearless 44. Yeah.
Fearless 44, right? You also had to come up with content for that.
Yes, and that's helped. I mean, it really has. I mean, we've been doing this for 2 years, but once a week, and then maybe a couple little videos throughout the course of the week and stuff like that. But it's being consistent with it and staying with it,
and being alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like me and Ty were both kind of in the same boat when we started this thing. That neither one of us really were the camera type of people. I mean, I was never one to post a video of myself on social media. That's just not how I was. You know what I mean?
Nope.
And, you know, Ty was the same thing. But, you know, through these 2 years of us creating this content and doing these shows, you know, if I can look at this man and I can literally hear him in my ear when he's starting to lose train of thought, and same with him with me.
Yeah.
If I'm going to start to get stuck, he right away picks it up. I mean, we work off of each other.
Yeah.
But not having that and having to pre-record it, that you have to watch it and make sure that it's good, because you're your own worst critic.
Right.
I mean, it's never going to be perfect.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I stopped doing it. Nowadays I just hit the live button, and half the time I don't even put like a topic in it or anything. And if I do, I was copy and pasting it, you know, with the Fearless 44. But during the 60-day content challenge, I just went for it. Like the first 2 or 3 nights, dude, I swear to God, I did like 40 takes. And I'm up till like 11:30 at night messing with this thing. And it was like, I just got to go for it. I'm done. I'm so done, you know, trying to make this thing sound so right. And you just got to go for it. That's the thing. And I think people like the authenticity of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
typically 99.9% of the time, I'd say it's very rare that I re-record a video. If like I say, like you what you're talking about now, putting it in drafts, I have 0 drafts. And you know what? Go with your gut. If it sounds good, post it, man. Let other people know you're authentic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
So,
Yeah, and I honestly think that contributes to why we have so much and have had so much success with this show. Is that we don't script it. I mean, there was a very, very short point in time, not even at the beginning either. It was like kind of, you know, I'd say like maybe episode 10 to 14 or something like that we tried to like really stick to a, you know, write things down and stick to a script, and not really a script per se, but like we're going to hit this topic and then this topic and then this topic, and we're going to ask these questions. And dude, it is so hard to stick to that. It's like, I mean, neither one of us are, you know, the memory, you know, we're not advanced in memory or anything like that. I can't remember a script. My ADD does not allow me to do that. I'm looking at shiny shit over here when I should be paying attention over here. So like, I can't, you know, I'm thinking like, I didn't say that right. I was supposed to say this, and like Ty, he's supposed to say this after this, and then like one of us fucks up, and it's like, now what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it doesn't work, man. It does not work.
So Ty, you're wearing an Only Roofers shirt.
Yes.
That's the great Elizabeth Calzadilla, one of my favorite people in the world.
Yeah, love her.
You actually tuned into our episode that we had her on, if I remember correctly.
You know what? Her husband Naveed and my girlfriend Karina were, you know, do some work together, or starting to work together on some mortgage stuff. Oh, nice. Elizabeth supports World's Greatest Roofers. She's my brand designer. We're working on some books that we're putting together, how to social media. But yeah, I saw you representing her shirt, and I have one as well somewhere around here. I should have worn it.
Yeah, I was actually able to catch up with her, or she caught up with me, I guess, at IRE, and I had the pleasure of doing an interview with her. So
that's awesome.
I would imagine in the next couple of weeks she'll post it.
You know, a lot of people don't know this about Elizabeth, or maybe they do. When you're one-on-one with Elizabeth in the think tank, learn when she's diving into who you are as a person, or how she can help your brand. That woman is one of the most intelligent women in this industry, or one of the most intelligent people when it comes to understanding business and models at such a young age. You know, 26 years old I think she's only 26. It's incredible to find such talent at that age in maturity.
For sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
But what do you guys? So tell me what you guys think is the future. What do you guys see in coming down the trail here?
As far as like social media or the economy?
Well, no, just in your roofing business.
Oh, I mean, I think I can kind of answer that question, because I already know where you're thinking. We want to be putting roofs on, you know, at least up and down the East Coast for sure.
Sure.
Right now we're so involved in trying to figure out the processes. Okay,
Sure.
so obviously we all know how to do our jobs. Okay, because
Sure.
I feel like we have a really good team that works very good together.
Yeah.
But the real challenge is when you open up a satellite shop or you open up another facility 1,000 miles away.
Right.
It's hard to teach someone else how to do something unless you have a
Or
process, right? So,
or trust that they're gonna do right when you're not looking, like what we were
Exactly.
talking about
right,
earlier.
right. So,
Making sure they're not putting bundles off to the side.
yes,
Oh
yes.
yeah.
So there's that integrity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to attract the people, with the culture that we have, that it all comes hand in hand. So, right now it's like we're all trying to figure out, okay, what do I do on a daily basis? Okay,
Sure.
I know what I do on a daily basis, but how can I put that down in a notebook? So if we're opening up a shop tomorrow or somewhere else, they can go to this book and say, here, this is your manual for success. This is how we
Right.
do it here, and this is how it's been successful for us.
Right.
So coming up with those processes it's actually really hard, man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because a lot of times we all wear numerous hats around the company. Everyone in here wears
Right.
numerous hats, and so there's some days that it's just autopilot, man. Like this is just what we do every day. But to try to put that down into words and make it make sense to other people is actually quite challenging, man.
Yeah.
And we've found ourselves, I'd say, over the last 6 to 8 months, like really trying to focus on that aspect of it. So
Documenting it is
Yes.
probably was the hardest part. Coming up with the process, the system, and the training, and then documenting it. So whether it be on PowerPoint or in an email or somewhere on the server, so someone has access to it. So for me, for reminding me, okay, if I'm going to train somebody, I can go to that PowerPoint. I can go to the documentation to remind myself, oh shit, that's right. This is what we do in this process. And making it as easily duplicated as possible. Okay, so fortunately, we have really great people around us that have been able to actually do that. And it's funny that we're talking about this right now because it's being done. It's done, and now we're trying to implement it over on the Delmarva, like we were
Right.
talking about earlier, and it's working. But
Yeah.
it was so much hard work up front trying to figure out, okay, what is the process? What is
Right.
our policies? What's the employee handbook going to look like? What's the safety protocol going to look like? Because at the amount of volume that we do 90 roofs a week. Okay,
Wow.
which I don't know how many other roofing companies out there that can do that, but at least up here in our tri-state area, I don't think there's many people that do that. But that's not counting the siding and the thousands of feet of gutter that are ran and the tens of thousands of windows that we install each year. Okay,
Sure.
so we have all of these moving parts. So to try to slow that down and create a process was the hardest part because 4 years ago, 5, 7 years ago, I wore all of those hats. Okay,
Right.
so
Sure.
everything about the business was in here. That's
Right.
it. In a day planner. Up until 4 years ago, it was in a day.
Sure.
It was in a day planner. Everything, all the roofing jobs, I ordered. I scheduled. I ordered. I got the sub crew out there. All of the windows ordered. The gutters ordered, delivered, scheduled. The whole shebang. So then to give up that trust, okay, or give up that responsibility to trust somebody that could do it as well as I could, because that was my biggest thing. I didn't trust anybody. This was my baby. They're going to ruin it. They're not going to do it as well as me. But when the pain was great enough, and I say pain, okay, because it was very painful. I was miserable. My family was miserable. I realized that my daily tasks were actually full-time jobs for people. Just out of the
Sure.
12 or 15 tasks that I thought was
Yep.
just a task, was actually full-time jobs. Service department, managing the service people, all of that stuff. But somebody said something to me, or I read it, or I listened to it somewhere, that if you could find somebody that can do it 70% as well as you could, they're doing it 100% better than what you're doing it now.
Really?
And
Wow, that's a great quote.
That clicked with me. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That clicked with me because ultimately, at the end of the day, in my mind, as the control freak that I am, no one's ever going to do it as well as I do. But what's crazy is when I can humble myself and I look at Chris Baker, who has taken over just the service department, which is in our biggest division in Maryland. You know, he does a fantastic job, and I'll be honest with you, he's doing it better than I ever did.
Wow.
Than I ever did. Do you know what I mean? And now we have another service manager in Pennsylvania. We have a service manager that manages Virginia and Delaware and parts of Maryland. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, wow.
One of the things that you just said is that 100% of you is 70%. Somebody else is doing it better, right? I was just telling somebody the other day, stop expecting you from other people, because if you're always expecting what you would do, you're gonna fail. So stop expecting you from other people and give people a chance. They might, what your 100 isn't their 100.
Right. Like, and I don't even know if he does it the same way that I did it anymore, which I know he doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, but the result is good or better. You know, the turnout, and that's the other thing I had to accept too, that everybody's not going to do it the way that I did it. Right. You know, Vic doesn't manage the costing department the way that I did takeoffs. I would look at a blueprint. I would count corners up. Well, Christ, he's got Plan Swift and Roof Scope to help him out. You know, there was money that we were losing because the purchase orders that we were receiving were wrong. And I knew they were wrong, but I was in such a hurry to order the materials and get it out there so we could get the job done, because we're already 2 weeks behind schedule because of the snow or whatever the case was.
You ain't looking through 90 purchase orders a week and plans and making sure that every single piece of material is accounted for by yourself.
No way.
That's crazy.
Right.
There's no way you can do it, man.
Right.
We barely manage it with the team that we have. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's
how easy is it for you guys to find estimators, like blueprint estimators, like you're talking about, you like yourself? Finding people to do takeoffs is one of the hardest things in this industry right now.
It really is. We have a pretty good process on training people.
Sure.
Yeah, we really don't care what your knowledge is. If you have the it and you're teachable, because our system isn't the same as anyone else's anyhow. If you're teachable and you have an open mind and you have the it, then you're hired.
Right, exactly. Yeah, no doubt. We were talking about that 5-year thing earlier, where people don't last longer than 5 years. Tell me something that you guys do in your culture that's different.
Ooh, that's a good question.
That is. I just realized we turned the interview around here.
Something that we do that's different.
No, I'm sorry, man, because you're the star of the show.
I don't even know that I can really. I don't know that I can put my finger down on that, man. We have, so we've been fortunate enough that, number one, I mean, we pay attention. We close our mouths sometimes and we listen. We have some really good innovators in our community. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick out one, Eric Brewer.
Always.
We have some people, and when I say our community, I'm talking about our zip code.
Right.
We have some really, really big players in the real estate market, in the construction industry and stuff that around here. Yeah. And when I say innovators, I'm just talking about like just good culture building innovators. How to treat people, the way that they run their businesses and stuff. And not only that, but over the last couple years, I feel like people like yourself and people like David Taggart and Deshaun Bryant and the Lee Hates and some of those guys really paying attention to that stuff and kind of putting everything together in the processes that we do. And to be honest with you, I think one thing that we do, I don't want to say different, but one thing that we do that we excel in is just being consistent. Being consistent with what we say, and really, really actually just giving a shit about not only the person that works here, but the family members that come with them. You know what I mean? And I'll never forget, man, when I first started here, almost 4 years ago, I think in like 2 weeks I'll be here 4 years. One of the first things that Ty told me in my interview was, when I come on, it's not just me that he's responsible for. He's responsible now for my children, for anyone that lives in my household that I take care of, and even someone that may not live in my household. But if they're a responsibility of mine, they're now a responsibility of his. So and that has lived, through everything, man. And that's down to our subcontractors. You know what I mean? It's like he's not just responsible for the 50 employees that clock in and out here every day. He's responsible for all of our family members, our subcontractors, all of their family members. Like this man provides a lot of food on the table for a lot of people. And it reminds me of like when we did that roof for Crispus Attucks, right? We put a roof on for a community center over in Lancaster County, which is about 30 minutes from us. And the day that we were doing this roof was also the food bank day. So, representatives of households were coming out to this parking lot and picking up food for the week. And, dude, I'll never forget the number of people that were in that parking lot was, like, crazy. Like, I'm talking, like, hundreds of people getting food. And it's like,
families.
This is just one person in this household. Like, this establishment is providing food for thousands of people today, right now. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what that reminds me of. It's like, there's only one representative of each household showing up here and clocking in every day, but like, he's providing that workspace and that culture for hundreds of people. You know what I mean? And it's like that realization and the understanding and being able to bleed that down and have a group, a cult of people that really buy into that, I think is what kind of makes us a little bit different. Not to put a book into your answer there, and I don't even know if I really answered your question.
No, it was great. I always want to know what make people different, and you're doing very well in your business. And people don't succeed unless they have a culture that people want to be around. And 90 roofs a week that's a great amount of roofs. That means that you're really doing something well to keep those people in place versus them running away to another roofer, right?
Yeah. Right. Ooh, here's a good one. This is something that we do different that nobody else does. Zach Fisher. We do the 21 turkey salute every year, man.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm. We do the 21. So if you don't know this, we actually hold the Guinness Book of World Records for the number of deep fried turkeys at one time.
Really?
Yes.
How many did you do at one time?
21.
21.
Well, now it's 22 because we just did 22 this past year. But what we do is we gather the entire company, family members and everything, and we go down to a local church. We set up 20. This year it was 22 pots. Actually, it was 30. Yeah. We set up 30 pots.
How did you call it? You cause a nuclear bomb then?
Pretty much. The fire department's on standby.
Yeah. We shut down a city block. We shut down a street. We deep fry. I don't even know how many hundreds of pounds of turkey.
We did 60 turkeys total this year.
Yeah, and we give it away. We give out Thanksgiving Eve, which is a Wednesday every year. We hand out turkey dinners to less fortunate people, whether they're homeless or they can't afford to provide turkey dinners for the family or whatever it is. But we handed out over 600 meals on Thanksgiving Eve. This year. That right there is something that nobody else does. So thank you, Zach. I appreciate you for that. He's a participant in that, actually.
It's things like that help the culture because it brings the entire company together, and then they get to see the fruits of their labor. The rewards. They get to see the rewards and realize how fortunate we are that we've never had it so good. And honestly, that's my mission. I want to look at Chris Baker and say to him and be able to look him in the eye and say, dude, we've never had it so good. Mm-hmm. I want to feel that. I want to know that he's never had it so good. Mm-hmm. And that's my goal. That's my mission. I want to look across the room at whatever. I'm saying that because we've never had it so good. Without Baker doing what he does, we wouldn't have it so good. With Vic not being so good at what he does, we wouldn't have it so good. And I think when people start to pick up what we're putting down, like the important role that you play is so important. And because of you being so good at what you do, we can create better jobs for more people. You know, when we did solar, our biggest motivator of bringing solar in is so we could create high-paying jobs.
Yep.
A skill, because that's a true skill. You know,
Yeah.
we've made gutter sexy. We consider our guttermen. Do you know what I mean? We made it a skilled trade. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Our gutter guys are guttermen. You know what I mean? It's
Yep.
a skilled trade. It's no different than a coppersmith or a welder or a plumber or an HVAC guy. He's a gutterman.
Yeah.
We made it a skilled trade.
No way I can go out and put 25 feet of gutter up on the front of a house.
Right?
Yeah.
We had a guy today put up over 900 feet, almost 1,000 feet. 5 houses he did today, him and another helper. Okay, now he's the original
the chief,
OG.
man.
He's the original gutterman of the company. They drove down to Cambridge, Maryland, which is about 2 hours away from here. They went down. They did 5 homes today. They did about
They did 560 feet of gutter and I think 480 feet of downspouts
yeah,
Wow.
in one day.
yeah.
8 hours.
Tell me that's not a true skill, and that's not a true trade.
And they didn't mess up.
No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You know, metal is so expensive these days.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
No, it's definitely a trade. You know, here in Colorado, typically a roof lasts anywhere between 3 to 7 years. So along with that roof, we do a lot of roofing gutters here.
I
You
bet.
guys need to open up shop here, man. We lost a lot of roofing companies in 2020, 2021. We didn't have any hail, and then COVID killed all the rest of the companies. So,
Interesting. You know what's
Yeah.
crazy? My aunt lives out there.
oh yeah,
She is a professor, and I tried to think about what school out there. One of the big, there's 2 big schools out in Colorado. What are they?
Colorado State and University of Colorado Boulder.
I think it's the second one. So she's a professor there, and she's actually in the construction field. So whatever she teaches students, but one of her students is now a roofing contractor out there, and we've spoke about aligning with him and starting and opening up shop out in Colorado because of her and her footprint out there. Her and her daughter are very successful, women in construction trade, which I can't believe we haven't had her on here. My dad, every time I see him, he's like, "What about Aunt Barbie? When are you going to bring Aunt Barbie on the show and talk about the great things that she's accomplished?" Because she takes students to the International Building Expo, and they win awards for things
Nice.
that, stuff that they've done, her and her students have done. But yeah, so it's cool that for whatever reason, I just realized that you were from Colorado. Somebody said it earlier.
Yeah, I thought that he was because I seen the post that you put up during the wildfires that were going on in Colorado, and
Yeah, I'm
I
still
seen the
working on
word
a lot of
neighbor
country.
in there,
Yeah.
and I was like, I think he is from Colorado.
I've lived here in Denver since 2015. From Northern Virginia, Washington D.C. area, just south of D.C. Right? But I'm a good old country boy.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, I'm going to give a couple
but,
shout outs to some people here that I see on here. Colin, right there's the man that we were just talking about. Colin just joined here. What's going on, buddy? Zach Fisher for constantly watching. You're here every week, man. David KX, Daniel Barker from Members First. Appreciate you guys always watching. My sister Sam watching. Brittany at home. I'll be home soon. We're super late tonight, babe. And I know that, I've been putting you through the ringer this last week with the home show. And this week coming up here is still another home show. Jenna down in Texas. Pam List. Tom Golden. All the other employees that are here watching, man. I appreciate you guys always watching, supporting us nonstop. Mike Brown. Anyone else that I may have missed, I apologize.
Johnny Stauffer.
Johnny
Jim Barber.
Stauffer, and definitely special shout out. Thank you to TJ. Thank you very, very much for your patience today, brother.
No,
We really appreciate it, man.
I'm excited. I was excited to get on this podcast. I told you guys that I do a podcast. It feels like every day, but this was the one that I've been waiting for this week, and I'm excited. I got to talk with you guys. If you guys want, not just you, if anybody else out there needs some help with social media, I'm a marketer, right? I have marketing. We do stuff like that. But my niche is teaching you how to do it yourself, and I really want to help others. And it doesn't matter that I'm wearing a Restore Masters flag. I'm there to help anybody and extend an olive branch or shake your hand and say, hey, let's figure out how to get you some new leads without having to pay for it.
That's awesome.
Awesome, man.
We will definitely be reaching out, and I can't wait to maybe collaborate later on some other projects or whatever
Let's
things.
do some videos together, Ty.
Yeah, for real.
That's a great idea, man.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
You know, the like I say, in my world, the best are 7 to 15 seconds. But I like training. I like teaching others, and man, I'd love to do some teaching videos with you.
Let's do it, man. I'm down. Cool.
But well, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much, man.
It's
we
been
appreciate
an
it.
honor and a pleasure, man. Thank you
Yes.
so much for wanting to come on here. It makes us feel special, like we're actually doing something right because you wanted to come on the show with us.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's definitely
Yeah, man.
humbling, man. Humbling that you've been looking forward to our podcast.
For real. I can't say
our
that enough.
podcast.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Well,
awesome,
so
man.
I can't say when and where just yet, but I'll be on a 40-city tour starting at the end of April, and there will be 3 other very amazing people with me, and we'll be making a day trip out there. So maybe if you don't see me at a conference near you, you'll get a chance to come in and meet me for a day of training.
I
real
hope
soon.
so.
Hey, that'd be awesome, man. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Cool.
So awesome. Well, thank
Yeah.
you guys so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
TJ, thank you. Facebook fam, we
Yep.
appreciate you guys tuning in for this special late edition of Behind the Toolbelt, episode 112. We'll catch you guys next week. Actually, we're going to see you guys this weekend because we got the Gettysburg Home Show, the Adams County Home Show coming up
right.
Friday and Saturday. We'll be going live from there Friday and Saturday a couple times. But episode 113 next week, we have a very, very special guest that week too. That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell anyone who it is. It's gonna live up to the hype. Maybe not as much hype as Mr. TikTok here, but
That's right.
he's in his own realm here. So
Yep.
make sure you guys tune in. We'll be live at hopefully 7:00 p.m. If not, we'll be there at 8 because we don't miss episodes. So
That's right.
everyone have a great rest of your night, and we appreciate you guys for sticking through and coming and hanging out with us.
Awesome.
Thank you guys.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, brother.